Welcome to Father John, Real Talk with Father John. I suppose you've noticed we've gotten rid of our headphones, and we feel a little bit better about that. It's a little bit more comfortable. We've been missing for a few weeks because of First Confessions and other things that I've had to do, but we're back on the air now. I'd like to introduce to you my good friend Josh Nehls, who's involved in our parish and different kinds of things. He and I are going to be talking this evening about some Catholic things, especially about a group called Life Teen, which started, I believe, in Arizona, in Mesa, Arizona, and has spread worldwide now, I think it is. So I'm just going to be talking with him about that. He's going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to ask him some questions. We'll talk a little about Life Teen and other things. So Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Things like that.
I was born in Dallas, Texas, but I was only there for about a year, and then my parents moved over here in Downey, and then ever since that, it's always been Downey. And then ever since we got here, I've always gone to St. Raymond's my whole life. Even now, I still go to St. Raymond's. I go to school at Long Beach City, getting some education as well as working full time. So all that good stuff. Coaching volleyball at Warren High School. Yeah.
Did you go to Warren High School?
Yeah, I went to Warren. Played volleyball.
He went to the opposing school to me. I went to Downey High.
Oh, really?
Big rivalry between the two schools.
They're actually really friendly with each other now.
Are they really friendly?
When it got to our senior year, it wasn't even rivalry anymore.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Buddies trying to beat each other.
Well, it's actually kind of fun rivalry,
yeah,
rather than the mean stuff. We didn't have any real mean stuff either. It was just kind of that fun stuff. So what are your interests? What do you like doing now besides going to school?
My real thing is, or my real interest is really volleyball. That's all I really ever do. Play volleyball, coach volleyball, and then working. I love my job. I love working at the radio station here.
So you work here at the radio station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my other interest is helping out at church. I mean,
yeah, I've seen you helping out at church a lot.
I am interested in that. You know, that's my big thing.
What do you do here at the radio station?
I make sure the shows are running right. Sometimes I do the broadcasting, what do you call it, the soundboard.
Right.
I do all the marketing and then all the sales for the commercials and all that stuff.
Marketing and
a little
sales.
bit of everything.
Yeah. How did you get involved in Life Teen to begin with?
Well, I first got involved in Life Teen when I started my confirmation, my year 1 confirmation. I always went to mass, and I was always just the basic Catholic. And then I would always see, the Life Teen, everyone would get together. And I always thought it would be the group that, they were the crazy Catholics, as we would think, like, oh my gosh, they're like the ones that do everything, the kumbaya with the guitar. And, But when I started my confirmation, it was a requirement to go to the Life Teen kickoff in the beginning of the year. So I was skeptical about it, but then we showed up. It was fun. I talked to a bunch of people. I was dancing, music, and then I caught into it. I was like, wow, these people are fun. They're not just sitting around doing nothing. They're actually having fun, creating an environment for teens. And from there on, I went every Sunday, and I was learning, and I was having fun, and I was making friends, and I was helping other people at the same time. And that's how I started. And that was the basis.
That would have been about age 15 for you, right, when you started?
15, yeah.
Yeah.
And
how old are you now?
19.
19.
So I've been there for 4 years.
4 years, yeah. And what do you find? What was your first impression? You said it was just kind of a fun kind of thing.
My first impression was that it was a community. Like that's how I thought of it. Is you had everything, a little bit of everything there. You felt like you were with a family. You felt like you had friends. You were having fun, and you had faith. Everything that I think a community needs was there, and that was the main reason I stayed. It was because that was a second home to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you a Catholic? Hold on, I'm on the wrong question. What are some of your favorite moments in Life Teen? Can you remember anything in your memories of things that happened that you just kind of went, wow, that was a really good time?
Well, my first memory was probably the haunted house. The first year, that was the first time I've ever done any community service, like helped out in my community, and it really opened me up to what I've done so far. Like everything I've done in the last 4 years came from that, because I was there all the time just wanting to help, and I found a passion for helping people, and that was probably one of the biggest ones, was finding my passion to serve and help.
Was that the haunted house that we had at the convent?
Yeah, that was my first one in the convent. That one was crazy. That one was
Our sisters moved out of the convent, and it was vacant.
Yeah.
So we used the convent for a haunted house, and I was scared.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to see what the inside of a convent looks like, and I'd been through the convent lots of times, but after the nuns moved out, and then you guys set it up for the haunted house, it was scary.
It was bad because we would be on the bottom floor, and someone would say, "Hey, can you go do something upstairs? Can you go grab that real quick?" No, I'm not gonna go in that hallway that makes noises without anything on.
Yeah. It was when the sisters weren't there. I was in there a couple of times, not by myself, but just with one other person, with nobody there. It was a little strange. Those small bedrooms. The sisters had bedrooms that were probably 10 feet wide and maybe 12 feet long, with a little sink and a little cupboard for their habits. They don't live there anymore because it's impossible to live in a small room like that nowadays with the clothes that people have and all the things that went on. So they've moved out.
I think the worst part was the plumbing. There was something wrong with the plumbing at the time. Yeah. And every 30 minutes it would whistle. So if you're upstairs by yourself in a fake haunted house and something whistles without you doing anything, you run.
Yeah. Another thing that was pretty scary about that was Ricky. He was an ex-Marine or a former Marine, and he had a chainsaw without any chain on it, chasing people. And man, that was pretty scary just hearing that. So for all of you who think that haunted houses and Halloween are evil, we apologize. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, that's probably my first great memory, was helping out with that.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, every time we show up, it's a blast. Everything's memorable. The only other ones I can think of would be the first adoration at Steubenville. That's amazing to see. Not even just the adoration itself, just being there and seeing so many Catholics like come together in unity and do the same thing. Like it's beautiful, to see.
Can you describe, because some folks might not know what adoration is?
Well, you probably explain it better than me.
Well, okay, I can describe part of it, then you can describe the particulars of what happened there. Adoration is when the priest takes the monstrance, which is it looks like a great big gold, usually, thing that the host goes into, and places the Blessed Sacrament into the host, which is behind a piece of glass, and then sets it on the altar so that people could adore the Blessed Sacrament. And I've seen some marvelous things happen. One was with, I think it wasn't a life teen group, it was a teen group, confirmation group, where we had the church. But go ahead and explain what happened at Steubenville. Well,
at Steubenville, they do a small adoration the first day you go. And you kind of feel relaxed, you feel comfortable. Usually people don't really have a reaction right away because they haven't gone through the whole weekend yet, all this stuff. So it's a really relaxing moment to enter you into what's going to happen through the weekend. But when we did the real adoration, the full, it was like an hour adoration, you sit there and you can just feel the energy in there, and you're able to sit and meditate and pray for the whole time with like no disturbances, because everyone else is doing the same thing, and it's empty. Like there's like no other things around you besides all the people in I think it was an auditorium, and they just have the small background music. But you're able to, well, for me at least, you're able to get the most dedicated prayer ever, and it's actually helped me a lot with my life. Adoration's been the one thing that I've gone to say, all right, I got some questions. Let's go to adoration. Let's talk about it. You talk with yourself. You communicate with God through yourself, and that's probably one of the greatest things that I can remember.
Was it silent, or did they have music in the background, or what?
With the entry of the monstrance, they do have music, and then as it gets more prayerful, they bring the music to a stop. And then towards the exit, they bring the music back up, to try to get people into it, bring them down, and then have it quiet, and then bring them back up.
Right, some mood kind of thing. I think that's one thing that we Catholics don't do really well, is silence.
Yeah.
And once you experience that silence, and there might be 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 1,000 people in a room all being silent and praying. That's just powerful in itself, let alone the Blessed Sacrament and the beauty of it.
And that's pretty funny, because the Irish Catholics always had to be quiet.
Oh yeah, they always had to be quiet.
They never get talk. Even now, my grandfather, he's Scottish, but he grew up in Ireland, and he said that even till now he's always quiet in mass. Like, don't say anything, like, don't be too loud, like, don't pray too loud. Even if you're praying loud, like, why are you being so loud? Like,
right. Do you know why?
I kind of know why. Wasn't it because they weren't supposed to be having mass and stuff like that? So they did it down in the catacombs, right?
Well, the catacombs were in Rome.
Oh, okay.
But in Ireland, they would do it in people's private homes.
Okay.
And during Cromwell's persecution of the Catholics, if they would catch people having mass in their homes, people would either be beaten or shot, and the priest was certainly shot.
Yeah.
So they had to be very, very quiet when they had mass, and they would whisper their prayers. Even the priest would whisper. So it kind of became a tradition for Irish Catholics to be very quiet in church. Yeah. Whereas Hispanic Catholics and African Catholics and Italian Catholics, they're very, very different than that. Yeah.
Well, nowadays, at least with the live teen mass, they try to get as loud as possible.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I can't hear myself think, especially giving out communion. We're going to be taking a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Please come back and return with us. We're going to continue our discussion. God bless. Talk to you soon.
Cool.
Yeah. It goes by really fast.
Hey, Juice, when was the last time you went swimming at a friend's house?
Yeah.
Just the other day. Why? What's up?
Well, the other day I went to my friend's house to go swimming, but it was all green, man.
We haven't even gotten
I know exactly what you need. You need to go talk to my friend Chris Anderson over at Chris Anderson Pool and Spa. He can help you out with algae, filter problems, weekly cleanings, pretty much anything to do with pools and spas.
What's that number, bro?
Give him a call at 310-500-7439. Again, the number is 310-500-7439. Poor Ben is only 20 years old, but has the spine of a 7-year-old man. Ben tried medicine, acupuncture, physical therapy, and even other chiropractors. Now, Ben, after only 6 weeks of care, is almost pain-free and is going back to the gym. A chiropractor is like a surgeon. You need to research and get references to see if they have a good set of hands. At the chiropractor office of Dr. Marty Scott, we cater to everyone. And remember, by appointment or by chance, we're always glad to see you back. To set up an appointment, go to drmartyscott.com.
Juice, I heard you were at a party the other day and the DJ completely destroyed the party.
That's right, Pac-Man. I was checking out his skills. They were not there. Didn't know how to MC. Lighting sucked. And guess what? There was cables showing everywhere. What up with that?
You know what, man? Cable management is really important. And when a DJ can't talk on the mic, what's the point? A DJ really has to know how to rock the party.
He needs to MC. He needs to take control of the party. So, folks, listen closely. If you're in the market for a DJ, if you have an upcoming wedding, quinceañera, birthday party, any kind of an event where the DJ will make the difference, make sure to check us out, escevents.com.
Computer repair done right. Have a virus? Is your computer too slow? Call us at 562-381-2702. Let our team handle it. We can get your computer back to normal, and with our $19.99 optimization package, your computer will be better than ever. Call 562-381-2702 or visit our website, pcsmartteam.com.
Getting a new roof should be an easy experience, only if you use Royal Roofing. We have the most professional, reliable, and experienced workers in the industry. With over 30 years of experience, Royal Roofing leads the market in roof maintenance and repair. We guarantee your complete satisfaction. Give us a call for a free on-site inspection estimate in the Los Angeles or Orange County area. 800-ROOF-390. That's 800-766-3390 or visit us at royalroofing.com.
Don't let the opportunity of a lifetime pass you by. We at Today's Realty and Loans are here to make your dreams become a reality. Rates are at a record low. Now is the time to act. Call us at 562-862-0777. Free pre-approvals and credit report when you mention Father John. Today's Realty and Loans is here to simplify the buying and selling process. Please call us at 562-862-0777. And don't forget to ask about our no closing cost loans. Lo podemos ayudar en su propio idioma para compra y venta de propiedades y refinanciamiento.
People call me a racist. Welcome back. We're on live Real Talk with Father John. I almost said Live Talk with Father John. My friend Josh Nehls here with us, and we're discussing Life Teen and his life as a Catholic in the Catholic Church. We were talking a little bit about his background, and the next question is, how has Life Teen changed you psychologically, spiritually, as a person? What's it done for you?
Well, kind of along the same lines as I said before, how I kind of usually just went to mass and that was it. But now I'm there like 3 days out of the week. I was able to find, I guess, like a home there. Spiritually, it was a home. You know, I found real religion. Like, it wasn't just going to mass. I knew what I was going for now. Like, I could feel that what was going on. That it wasn't just showing up, listening to a guy talk for an hour, and going home. I actually gained something from it. So I guess spiritually, it's made me more serious with religion, made me more knowledgeable with my religion, and that's really good because that goes along with the psychological stuff where I felt mentally better knowing all this stuff that I know now from the church.
Right.
It's bettered my life in a lot of ways. I think better. I feel like the world is better. Knowing all this stuff. You kind of like, you could say it like you see colors brighter. It's put a happier tone on your life, and that's mostly just the spiritual part. The psychological part from Life Teen was having that second family that you could go to. I grew up with a single parent, my mother, and it was just me and my brother and my mom. And I always had a lot of father issues. I didn't have any father figures in my life. All of my family was girls, aunts, and daughters that they had, and so I never really had like the male role models in my life. So going to church or going to Life Teen and having the male figures there, those were my my father figures, the males in the church and Life Teen, and from that I was able to develop as a person. Instead of just having all the the feminist stuff, I had all I could shop and I could cook and all that stuff, but I didn't know how to I didn't know how to fish, I didn't know how to build stuff, but from there I was able to learn all that stuff that I couldn't find from a single mother. They had me building stuff, they had me took us on fishing trips with Kevin O'Leary, all that great stuff that I couldn't do before. So it's developed me as a person really well. I could honestly say that Life Teen has made me the person I am today.
I had similar experience. I grew up with a single mom as well. I didn't have a brother or a sister, but then I had a stepdad, which wasn't a positive experience for me. I learned a lot about being masculine the wrong way from him, and then I had an uncle who was a real positive experience, but I didn't really hang around with him much. I saw him maybe once a month or something. But then going into seminary actually, I pledged to fraternity at first, which was another, I thought was going to be a good male role model kind of thing. It didn't turn out very well. We had too much fun and not enough good solid stuff. But then I found the church and the seminary, and I saw that male figure, and I had a spiritual director once tell me that looking for a father figure in your life, you turn to Jesus and to God our Father, but then you realize that you develop into that father figure for other people. Which then you become that father figure, and that's real healthy too.
That's actually part of my story from all that, all the stuff that I've done in Life Teen. I've come to realize that I can help the kids now. The kids, the people that were there for me, I can be that person to the kids that are going now. And it's actually happens a lot. So many times kids come up to me or I go up to them and there's something I just say and it just sticks like right away. And I've had kids that were drug addicts, like they always doing drugs, and hoodlums on the street who are now super involved in church. That they love to be around church just because of one talk that I had with them. The first retreat or something like that. And it's crazy because it's only because of what I've been through that I can do this. So it's kind of like I took it as without having a father in my life, one person not having a father, I've been able to help so many people that had problems. And I take it as a good thing.
It's one of my favorite things, is one of my joys in life, is seeing a young person succeed at something. And it could be as small as a kid making a touchdown, his first touchdown in the football game, or like in volleyball doing really well, or it could be passing a class that he was struggling with, or she's finally done something that she wanted. I can think of kids that I taught in high school that are very successful now, and I don't have to be there. I just have to know that they're doing it, and I could just grin. And I'm thinking about a young lady named Kathleen Myers who started an underground ministry at our high school called the Barnabas Club, and they would do secret acts of kindness for people without letting anybody know.
Wow, that's
high
cool.
school kids that I would let them into campus because I'd have a key. They'd go into the teacher's lounge and put flowers out for somebody, or different kinds of things like that. And just watching that, I would just grin. I just loved watching them, mature like that and succeed at things. That's I think part of being that father figure.
That's great because, like, there's a lot of kids that after I talk to them, they tell me, I didn't think anyone cared. Like, I didn't think anyone was paying attention to what was going on with me. And then when someone finally steps forward and, confronts them, they appreciate it because they didn't think anyone cared. And not a lot of people will confront you, if you have a problem, they're like, oh, that poor kid, but that's about it. That's all they say. They never try to fix it. But that's another great thing I learned from Life Teen, is able to be that person to stand up for someone else, to be their, to be their shield.
And to surprise them with not condemnation, but support.
Yeah.
I once had a talk with a young guy who, he was caught with drugs on a retreat. And I discovered through the conversation with him and some other kids that he wasn't really the one that brought them. He was challenging people about the drugs. So I took him and his mom. I had his mom stand outside the window in my office so she could look in. And I sat down and I said, "You didn't have anything to do with this, did you?" And he was so surprised that I wasn't going to jump all over him. I said, "You didn't. Why don't you speak up?" He says, "Well, I don't want to snitch." I said, "So you're going to take the fall for this?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, well, if you want to take the fall for it, okay. But just know that I know the truth, that you're not guilty." And he sat there and I said, you don't have to come out with this, but just know that I know that you're okay." And he looked at me like, wow, because I wasn't going to force him into anything. That's the kind of fun stuff that you can do. Yeah, it's great. And it's participating in people's lives and letting them know you're going through some crazy times right now.
Definitely.
So have I. Yeah. So is everybody else. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family.
You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. Yeah. What are some of your favorite things to do now, just in life, like in church? What are some of your favorite things to do?
Mostly just help out as much as I can. You always bring it up, cleaning the walls in the church. Yeah. I just try to think of the most random acts of kindness I can think of. Like, I was literally just sitting there like, these walls are dirty. The walls are dirty. We should help out. And it was a week during our spring break, or it was winter break, and we were working with Armando, and we were doing a bunch of stuff in the hall. And then we said, "Hey, can we clean the walls? They're pretty dirty." Yeah, go ahead. There's
How many of you did that?
It was 2 of us for a week, and then there was a Saturday where we brought a 3rd person in, and we finished it up.
Yeah, these guys cleaned all of the interior walls of our parish church.
Yeah, needs it again.
Yeah, it needs it again. Especially as you're looking at the priest on the left side up there, it's really dirty up there, and some people are starting to say it looks like Our Lady of Guadalupe. So we got to clean it.
In the wall,
Otherwise, we'll have to leave the dirt up there forever. Because it's not Our Lady of Guadalupe; it's just dirt.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably one of the things that I like to do now in the church, is do the things that no one else really wants to do.
Right.
How many people are going to come up and say, "Hey, you want me to do that?" Not too many people. Same thing at church. Whenever or at Life Teen, whenever someone needs something, no one's going to raise their hand. All right, I'll do it. Let's go. Let's go do it. Let's get it done.
There are a few people at the 5 o'clock mass, some of the senior citizens, but then I think it's the 11 o'clock mass. Little Thomas Maldonado.
Oh yeah.
He goes through the church and picks up all the trash. Yeah. And he's in 3rd grade now. He's in 3rd grade, and he goes through the church and picks up all the trash and throws it away. That's the kind of spirit of people that
Right.
It's just he wants to do it, and for him it's kind of fun and it helps out.
Yeah.
So that it's being a role model like that. And I think,
Right. That's really what I just do now, is I try to be the best role model. I mean, I've gone through it. I think I'm at a good point in my life where I don't need any spiritual help myself. I think I found a good place, but now it's time to help other people get to a good place. So I like to go to Life Teen and just be a good person. They have people telling them what to do. Everywhere. They don't need another person being their teacher, being their their
director,
boss.
Their boss.
So I just go to be their friend, and that's actually another good point. Is they're always asking me, like, how come I never teach? Like, how come I never teach confirmation? Why don't I want to be a teacher? It was because I want to be their friend. They have enough people telling them what to do. They need someone that has the same intentions as a teacher, but they can count on and be their friend. Yeah.
They need somebody they can just go to and say, I've seen you around and I need to talk.
Right.
And you're not a teacher. You're not an official.
And even though these teachers, I know them personally, they're great people. But just because the fact that they're a teacher, it turns the kids off of them as a friend.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I get the same thing.
Yeah.
People won't talk to me because I'm wearing black. When we come back, which will be just a little bit, we're going to talk some more about what we think we can do to promote the gospel in 2014 and some other issues. So come back in just a few minutes. We're going on a commercial break. See you soon.
Hey, Juice, when was the last time you went swimming at a friend's house?
Just the other day. Why? What's up?
That thing?
Well, the other day I went to my friend's house to go swimming, but it was all green, man.
Oh, I know exactly what you need. You need to go talk to my friend Chris Anderson over at Chris Anderson Pool and Spa. He can help you out with algae, filter problems, weekly cleanings, pretty much anything to do with pools and spas.
What's that number, bro?
Give him a call at 310-500-7439. Again, the number is 310-500-7439. Poor Ben is only 20 years old, but has the spine of a 7-year-old man. Ben tried medicine, acupuncture, physical therapy, and even other chiropractors. Now, Ben, after only 6 weeks of care, is almost pain-free and is going back to the gym. A chiropractor is like a surgeon. You need to research and get references to see if they have a good set of hands. At the chiropractic office of Dr. Mariscal, we cater to everyone. And remember, by appointment or by chance, we're always glad to see you back. To set up an appointment, go to drmariscal.com.
Juice, I heard you were at a party the other day and the DJ completely destroyed the party.
That's right, Pac-Man. I was checking out his skills. They were not there. Didn't know how to MC. Lighting sucked. And guess what? There was cables showing everywhere. What's up with that?
You know what, man? Cable management is really important. And when a DJ can't talk on the mic, what's the point? A DJ really has to know how to rock the party.
He needs to MC. He needs to take control of the party. So, folks, listen closely. If you're in the market for a DJ, if you have an upcoming wedding, quinceañera, birthday party, any kind of an event where the DJ will make the difference, make sure to check us out, escevents.com.
Computer repair done right. Have a virus? Is your computer too slow? Call us at 562-381-2702. Let our team handle it. We can get your computer back to normal, and with our $19.99 optimization package, your computer will be better than ever. Call 562-381-2702 or visit our website, pcsmartteam.com.
Getting a new roof should be an easy experience, only if you use Royal Roofing. We have the most professional, reliable, and experienced workers in the industry. With over 30 years of experience, Royal Roofing leads the market in roof maintenance and repair. We guarantee your complete satisfaction. Give us a call for a free on-site inspection and estimate in the Los Angeles or Orange County area. 800-ROOF-390. That's 800-766-3390 or visit us at royalroofing.com.
Don't let the opportunity of a lifetime pass you by. We at Today's Realty and Loans are here to make your dreams become a reality. Rates are at a record low. Now is the time to act. Call us at 562-862-0777. Free pre-approvals and credit report when you mention Father John. Today's Realty and Loans is here to simplify the buying and selling process. Please call us at 562-862-0777. And don't forget to ask about our no closing cost loans. Lo podemos ayudar en su propio idioma para compra y venta de propiedades y refinanciamiento.
Every Tuesday at 6:30, emixla.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Father John. I'm here with Josh Nehls, who's an active member in our parish, and 19 years old. 19 years old. I don't remember when I was 19 years old. Actually, I kind of remember it. It was a long, long time ago. When I was 19 years old, Bobby Kennedy was shot. That's how old I am.
Wow.
That's how old I am. Yeah. Wow. We're talking about church and ministry and life team. Josh, what do you think are some of the things we can do to promote the gospel this year, 2014?
Well,
what really
the big thing that I've seen being involved in Life Teen is we have a group of people called the Dirt Members, and those are the disciples in religious training. So they're the ones, trying when they're adults, they're going to be, what we are doing. And it's the most dedicated group that I've seen in a long time, and it's the most knowledgeable group I've seen in a long time. They all know their stuff. They know their stuff. They know what they're telling. They know what they're teaching. And a big thing that we've been doing at Life Teen lately is having them teach some of the life nights, so that the kids in high school are hearing it from someone closer to their age. And they've been doing a great job. They've been teaching a lot of stuff that that they ignore in mass. These kids will sit there like what's going on, and then they hear their one of their fellow high school students teaching what was going on in Mass, and they're like, oh, that was what's going on? Like, it sounds better, like coming from one of us.
Right.
So I think that's one of the best things that we've done is to promote the gospel, is having Mass translated by someone closer to their age. They can appreciate it more. They understand, like, oh, if he knows what he's talking about, then I should know what they're talking about.
Right.
And that's something I've seen in the past that didn't really catch on, was the teachings, because of the age difference.
Right.
I don't know if that was the reason, but I noticed the change when the kids were teaching it rather than the adults were teaching it.
Right.
Like, the kids understood it more. Because I'm sure the examples they were using had to do with their day-to-day lives in high school,
Right.
whereas our examples, work and stuff like that, they don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, when the kids are teaching it, they're promoting the gospel a lot better this year. That's
You
what
got to
I've
know your
noticed.
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know your audience. And I don't know what's going on in teenagers' lives these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
just don't
neither. I
know.
mean, I coach volleyball at Warren, and some of the stuff these kids are telling me, and I'm only 19. I'm pretty close to their age, and I have no idea what they're talking about sometimes.
What age group are the Dirt members?
They are juniors and seniors. So
Okay.
So pretty much the confirmation students are freshmen and sophomores, and then the
Right.
Dirt is juniors and seniors, and then you go to core after you're 18.
The core team.
Yeah.
And that's what you are right now. Is
Right,
core.
yeah.
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 I know the Dirt members have their own T-shirts that say Dirt on the front, and people think, how come you're degrading those folks?
Yeah.
They don't know what it stands for. What does it stand for again?
Disciples in religious training.
Disciples in religious training. That's pretty good. I have to remember that because I forget.
They had another name a while back, but then the group needed to be humbled a bit. So they
Right.
gave them,
I remember
they gave
that.
them Disciples in religious
some of them
training.
started to
Dirt.
get a little bit like power hungry,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's not what it's about. Yeah, it's about humility.
Right. What do you think? I want to hear your answer to that question. What's a good way to promote the gospel in 2014?
Well, I look back at my own experience in life, and when I was a little kid, I remember sitting with my grandparents in their living room, and television was fairly new in those days. And there was the first televangelist was a guy named Bishop Fulton Sheen.
Okay.
And he would get on TV in black and white in his full bishop's regalia and talk about the Catholic Church with a chalkboard. Now, I don't think we should do that because that was 1950 something.
Right.
But using modern technology, he was a pioneer in using modern technology to touch the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the United States. And his talks are still watched and listened to on DVDs and tapes these days. Not tapes much anymore,
Right.
but we need to get into 2014 presenting the gospel. And that doesn't mean breaking into small discussion groups in parishes all the time, which we have a tendency to want to do. That was the 1970s.
Right.
The 1980s, we broke into groups, we held hands and sang Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Remember? You talked about that. And I don't think that really helps anybody these days.
Right.
But finding means of technology to present the gospel, I think that's what the Holy Father was talking about when he said, we should be on the internet, using the internet. That's why I'm on Facebook. Sometimes,
Right.
that media that can be used for great evil can also be used for great good, just like
Right.
television, and
Or radio.
right, or radio, like we're doing right now, which is actually on the internet, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of a combination that I think we need to move into 2014 in our parishes, and I think we have a tendency as Catholics to get stuck 20 years ago in what we think is new,
Right.
and
Right.
putting a video up on a screen. We've been doing that for so long, nobody's watching it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to do, and to speak the language of people today. I don't know how to speak, teen language.
Yeah.
You probably are really closer to it than
Well,
me.
closer, but I'm still not there yet. I got a few more in the dictionary I got to learn.
Yeah, I know how to say like.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they do
But
that a lot.
They do that a lot, and I've just realized that the end of a sentence is now yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the end of the
You know what I'm
sentence.
talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just we can have fun with that. But I think speaking the language of the teenager and getting people from that age group to speak like the Dirt members, I think that's a really excellent way to present the gospel
Right.
to young people. And if we're going to be presenting the gospel to people who are in juvenile hall or prison or in another parish where they're of a different ethnic background, we need to speak their language and know what their ethnicity is. When I do the Spanish Mass, it's not just about speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
It's about knowing what their traditions are, and they don't care if I speak English or Spanish, so long as I can not act like them, but understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and be part of it. You know, even from the outside, I'm kind of, even though I look like an extrovert, I'm really an introvert inside. You know, I get my energy from being alone, and you'll see me if there's a big crowd. If I'm not the celebrant at Mass, I'm on the edge of the crowd.
Yeah.
But they'll understand that I need to be with folks, and I think presenting the gospel. Pope Francis is doing an excellent job because he's surprising people. He'll say something, people will completely misunderstand it, and he'll just laugh.
Yeah,
you know, he'll just go on to the next thing. He doesn't get all riled up and angry like I do about stuff. You know? So he's a great example for us.
Right. Another good what we did last year, was it last year or a few years ago? The flash adorations.
The flash adorations.
Those are really good.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah, and what we did was we went to first an outdoor mall and then an indoor mall with the Blessed Sacrament and a monstrance. There were 3 priests and a crowd of people from the parish, and we just showed up, and we were in albs and stoles and just held the monstrance up in public. And parishioners knelt, and people all around started kneeling. And it's on YouTube if you want to look it up. It's called Eucharistic Flash Mob, and we've done a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I got called into the bishop's office, and he liked the idea, but he wanted us to add some things, which I think we should add the next time we do it. He wants us to have an altar, an altar cloth, candles, and incense. Nothing wrong with that. I like it.
You gotta get a whole team to carry all that, though.
Yeah, but I think because we have so many people, it'd be easy to do. One person could carry a little portable table, another person an altar cloth. We could have that set up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah,
lighting all the candles and and do it. And I think that would be even more impressive. You know, it's not just the Blessed Sacrament; it's the things around it, like you talked about adoration.
Right.
You know, you can sit and stare at the Blessed Sacrament by yourself, but being in a room with 800 people, where there's music and incense and all those kinds of things, it accentuates it.
That was like the perfect example of going outside of the church to spread the gospel, because there were people who stopped going to Mass that were just happened to be at that mall. You know, they say they're Catholics, and they believe they're Catholics, but they don't go to Mass anymore. But they saw us doing this, and they said, "Oh my gosh, like I should be kneeling right now. Like, I need to be kneeling right now."
I need to be kneeling right now.
They've opened their mind back up to the gospel, whereas before it was closed. You know, they just closed that part of their lives.
Yeah, they had forgotten. They weren't doing it. They weren't trying to get away from Jesus.
Right.
They had just gotten lazy about it, and then we brought it to them, and it was a really good experience for me too, as a priest.
Yeah.
And the 2 priests that were with me, 2 Indian priests, Father Ossie and Father Ambrose, were with me when we did that, and it was just a wonderful experience for me. It brought joy to me too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson I have to learn over and over again, is when I go out of my way to do something that might seem like work, it's actually joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And laziness will tell me not to do it, but it's actually joyful.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about priesthood yourself?
I have, actually. You know, I spent a year at Adoration thinking of that. Well, not a whole year at Adoration, but one time, one year we went to Adoration, and I thought about it. You know, I've always had it in my mind because, the kids look up to me. I'm honestly I'm obviously a good speaker to them if I'm getting through to them. So I thought about it, and what came to my head was that there's so many moments in my life where I'm so great with kids, and kids just happen to love me. I've always had a good relationship with kids, and I've always been a good father figure to others, that it just made more sense to be a family person. And then I realized that was my vocation. You know, I wasn't just like, oh, I like this better than this, but I felt it. You know, I understood it. That was for me. And it's crazier than it sounds, because when I was I think it was around 14, 15. It stopped recently, but when I was younger, I would stand in the back of Mass, and you would see all the babies look at me. All the babies. This is quite weird. What's going on?
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
I'm supposed to be a father. What's going on? Why are all these babies staring at me? But yeah, it was pretty weird. It would happen a lot.
That's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always been really good with kids. I have that imaginary side where I can play with them, be a part of their world,
Yeah.
So that's what I realized was my vocation, was doing that. I would love to be a priest. That would be a fun little job. I love watching you do what you do. To sit up there, your speeches make the week, it makes the week better until the next week, until the next speech.
Right.
I've actually had a lot of times where I've had a lot of questions that needed answered, and then just happened to go to mass and happen to answer the right questions that week.
Yeah, it's usually because I'm preaching to myself.
Yeah.
It's something I need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that seems to happen a lot. We're about to take another commercial break, and then we'll be right back. And God bless. We'll see you in a few moments.
Hey, Juice, when was the last time you went swimming at a friend's house?
Just the other day. Why? What's up?
Well, the other day I went to my friend's house to go swimming, but it was all green, man.
Oh, I know exactly what you need. You need to go talk to my friend Chris Anderson over at Chris Anderson Pool and Spa. He can help you out with algae, filter problems, weekly cleanings, pretty much anything to do with pools and spas.
What's that number, bro?
Give him a call at 310-500-7439. Again, the number is 310-500-7439. Poor Ben is only 20 years old, but has the spine of a 70-year-old man. Ben tried medicine, acupuncture, physical therapy, and even other chiropractors. Now, Ben, after only 6 weeks of care, is almost pain-free and is going back to the gym. A chiropractor is like a surgeon. You need to research and get references to see if they have a good set of hands. At the chiropractor office of Dr. Mariscal, we cater to everyone, and remember, by appointment or by chance. We're always glad to see you back. To set up an appointment, go to drmariscal.com.
Juice, I heard you were at a party the other day and the DJ completely destroyed the party.
That's right, Pac-Man. I was checking out his skills. They were not there. Didn't know how to MC. Lighting sucked. And guess what? There was cables showing everywhere. What's up with that?
You know what, man? Cable management is really important. And when a DJ can't talk on the mic, what's the point? A DJ really has to know how to rock the party.
He needs to MC. He needs to take control of the party. So, folks, listen closely. If you're in the market for a DJ, if you have an upcoming wedding, quinceañera, birthday party, any kind of an event where the DJ will make the difference, make sure to check us out, escevents.com.
Computer repair done right. Have a virus? Is your computer too slow? Call us at 562-381-2702. Let our team handle it. We can get your computer back to normal, and with our $19.99 optimization package, your computer will be better than ever. Call 562-381-2702 or visit our website, pcsmartteam.com.
Getting a new roof should be an easy experience, only if you use Royal Roofing. We have the most professional, reliable, and experienced workers in the industry. With over 30 years of experience, Royal Roofing leads the market in roof maintenance and repair. We guarantee your complete satisfaction. Give us a call for a free on-site inspection estimate in the Los Angeles or Orange County area. 800-ROOF-390. That's 800-766-3390 or visit us at royalroofing.com.
Don't let the opportunity of a lifetime pass you by. We at Today's Realty and Loans are here to make your dreams become a reality. Rates are at a record low. Now is the time to act. Call us at 562-862-0777. Free pre-approvals and credit report when you mention Father John. Today's Realty and Loans is here to simplify the buying and selling process. Please call us at 562-862-0777. And don't forget to ask about our no closing cost loans. Lo podemos ayudar en su propio idioma para compra y venta de propiedades y refinanciamientos.
Welcome back. I'm here with my friend Josh Nehls, who's involved in our parish and also in Life Teen Young Adult Ministry, and is also working here at the radio station. So it wasn't a far walk for him to come to be on my show this evening.
From that chair to that one.
From that chair over there. He's actually been the engineer for the show a couple of times before, so he's familiar with the format.
Yeah.
What do you see in the Catholic Church as things that could improve?
Things that can improve. I think there, like you were saying, that the times are kind of stuck 20 years in the past.
Right.
I think that's one thing that our church has a problem with, is accepting new things into the church. Not necessarily like really bad things, but like ways of teaching and stuff like that.
Right.
I know a lot of teachers that like to do the old school way, and they don't like to talk about like video games and all that stuff. They like to keep it where it was. And I think we can develop more as a church if we move with the times, you know.
Right.
I just see that a lot. You know, that's probably my only concern.
And you're not talking about doctrines, you're talking about methods of doing things.
Methods of doing things,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like having air conditioning in church. It has nothing to do with the doctrine of the church. It's not a big church change, but it's something that helps people out in the church.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, I was watching kids at our Catholic school. After school, they have big stacks of books, and I thought, one of these days it's all going to be on an iPad, and they're not going to have to carry these big stacks of books. And I talked to some teachers, and they said, yeah, but the print media has a different way of teaching than the iPad does. So there's a value to both the good and the bad, or the old and the new. But being willing to look at things. I know there's a big debate right now about Common Core, whether it should be the method of teaching in Catholic schools and in public schools. And I had a good buddy of mine that was on the show one time. We talked about Common Core. All I was getting was it's really bad, and he talked about what it really is, and I still don't know, because I haven't researched it that much. But keeping our minds open to things like that, that methods are different than changing doctrine and bringing new things into the church. When they first brought electricity into the church, people were shocked. We've always had candles, but I think it's those kinds of changes that we need to look at.
And the reason I've seen this is with Live Team, there was a lot of things where I was like, why don't we try this? Why don't we try that one? No, we can't do that. Like, we have to go by the book. We have to do what they're doing.
Right.
It's like, but this sounds better. They don't want to listen to reason. They just want to do what they know.
Right.
And I think that's something that we could work on. I mean, I've even done that myself. Whatever I've done for so many years, I would like to keep doing it. If someone new is like, hey, let's try this, I'm like, I want to do this. I've been doing this for so long.
Right.
It takes some humility to accept someone else's ideas.
And it just seems easier to do it the old way.
Right.
Because you're used to it. But if it's not working, it's not working.
Yeah. Just got to accept that sometimes.
Yeah, we have to accept that sometimes. We changed our mass schedule a year and a half ago, and people were. There was tears, fears, and trauma for a little while, but I think people like it now better because there's not as many problems in the parking lot. And in the last couple of years, we've changed the responses and some of the things at Mass. And some people were very upset. I know one woman was very upset that the word consubstantial was in the creed because she didn't know what it meant. And I think once we explain what things mean, and some of the changes are going back to some of the older traditions, which I think is very healthy too. The use more of incense, the use of nicer vestments, the use of a solid altar rather than a portable thing, throwing out the cheap what do you call pottery chalices and the groovy stuff and the balloons and clowns that I think were really unhealthy. And coming back to some things that are dignified, and I think that's new for some people. When I first walked into St. Raymond's, I almost expected to see a green avocado refrigerator in the sacristy because it just seemed like it was in 1960. But we've kind of moved beyond that now. What do you see as your future? You said you'd like to be a family man, get married.
Yeah.
What do you want to do eventually?
Career-wise, I'm actually going to school right now, studying nutrition and kinesiology. So pretty much study of the body, like how it moves and the food that goes into you. I want to help people a lot with weight issues, with health issues.
Now you're making me feel guilty.
I think there's too much, too much unhealthiness. There's too much.
Right, there is.
Yeah, in America especially. And you can see a super skinny guy even.
Yeah.
And just because he's skinny, that doesn't mean he's healthy.
Right.
There's so many people like that I'm actually concerned about. Myself in high school, I've always been thin, but I would always eat McDonald's and talk about a bunch of bad stuff, and I thought I was healthy because I was skinny, but until I changed my ways. Senior year, we started juicing. We started juicing with our meals, and I would start playing better. I needed to sleep less. I had so much more energy, literally your eyes were so much better. You could see so much better.
Really?
Like the blue would be brighter, the white would be cleaner. Like it was just lights would be brighter. You would see in a whole new world. Like in the movies when you know, they're having a bad day, everything's gloomy outside, and then
right.
you know, they're having a good day and everything's bright. That's exactly how it was. And I had always thought this was, you know, a good life, and then I started doing that, and I realized there's a whole another level of a good life.
Right.
And I just want to spread that to so many more people. So I want to go to school for it, you know, get a you know, a master's in both of these topics, and that from there I want to open up a chain of nutrition/health clinics so that people can go and get a workout plan and a nutrition plan at the same place. As you don't really see that. You either go somewhere to work out or you go somewhere to get a diet. You don't really
right.
see a lot of health clinics really. And I think too many people are using supplements and all that stuff, and I want to steer people away from that.
Right.
So I've got a big goal to conquer, so we'll see how that works.
I know I've had really bad issues with my back and sciatica, and the doctor had me on pain pills. He wanted to give me Vicodin and so forth. And I've been going to the chiropractor, and he suggested turmeric, which is an herb.
Yeah.
And so I went to the health food store and bought a little bottle about this big. There must have been 40 pills in there for, I think it was $25. And I came home, and I'm taking those pills for a couple of weeks. And I mentioned them to the priests in the house, the Indian priests, and they just laughed. And they said, "You're taking turmeric?" I said, "Yes." They said, it's in our food. We use it all the time in our food." And they had a bottle of it this big for $2. You know, and so now I take turmeric for pain because it's a natural. You can't take too much of it. You know, it's a natural herb that helps with inflammation.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that, but you know the doctors don't want you to know about it.
Yeah, they want to keep you on Vicodin,
right?
Which is addictive and really bad for you.
Because if you ever do your research on, or you've probably done the research on hospitals, they're sponsored by the drugs. You know, if you go down to a hospital and they're all eating lunch, that lunch was probably sponsored by some sort of drug brand to promote their drug brand when the clients need it, you know?
Right.
It's like, we'll buy your lunch, but you got to say use Tylenol instead of Advil, you know, something like that.
I used to work in hospitals. And, somebody said to me today that hospitals are not a good place to be sick.
No.
And I've been in the hospital a couple of times the last few years, and I don't like it.
Right.
It's just, let me out of there.
But yeah, that's my career goal. But I actually do have some life teen goals that I want to conquer.
What are those?
I think life teen is really good, but it's only really good for about 1 or 2 days out of the week right now. What I want to do is I want to start doing fundraisers. I want to start a charity trying to get people to help me with my goal to bring more funding to Life Teen, because they don't really have too much funding. They try to bring it all themselves. And I want to create, they have the youth room, you know, the youth room where they go to hang out. I want to be able to remodel it so that kids can go there after school and, you know, whenever they have free time to do their homework, you know, hang out with friends, a safe place for them to go. Because I hate hearing stories about kids that, you know, they get in so much trouble hanging out in the streets with their friends, or, you know, leaving their house and going, they don't even know where they're going. They just leave to go somewhere because they don't want to be home.
Right. And
I want to create a place like that in a church that they can feel safe to go to. And, you know, it's hard to do that without funding. So I want to start building fundraisers to start building that dream.
And the old ways of fundraising aren't working anymore.
No, they're not.
So we got to think of new ways to fundraise, because, for example, our carnival this year, we made $3,000 on the carnival, where it used to be $40,000. People just aren't. You can have more fun online than you can at a carnival.
Yeah.
So our Spanish prayer group is looking at new ways of fundraising, and we are too. It's difficult to get people to do the old-fashioned stuff anymore,
right?
Because it's boring. Who wants to ride a Ferris wheel when you can fly an airplane online?
Yeah.
You know. So and having a safe place for kids.
Yeah, I really think that's important. That you don't really see too much now.
Did you go home after school when you were a kid?
I went to my grandparents' house. I was lucky enough to have grandparents that can help me out, because my mom was working, you know, 8 to 5, so we had from 2:30 to 5:30 to know where to go. So we went to the grandparents and they helped us out. But once in high school, they did do something like that with Life Teen when I was in high school.
Right.
They would hang out in there, but they really don't have too much. You know, there's a table and a few couches. But I want to you know, build an actual, like a home that, you know, if they can work on something on the computer, you know, if they don't have a computer, they can go to the computer and do all this stuff.
Right.
And, you know, just fun activities they can do.
And a quiet place where they can study a little bit or whatever they need to do.
Right.
And maybe a little place where they can talk about, have an issue of the day that you talk about, something like that.
Yeah. And the other quick thing with Life Teen is we do Club 52. You know about Club 52?
Yeah, Club 52.
We try to send kids to, Steubenville and retreats and stuff like that to help them out to fundraise the money for them. I would actually not be in Life Teen without Club 52. I didn't have any money to go on all this extra stuff. So I would tell them, I can't go. I can't do all the Steubenvilles or the retreats. But from Club 52, people sponsored me to go because they knew what I was doing and they wanted me to keep going. So they would donate the money to help me go to these places. So now I want to help more kids have the opportunities to experience what I experienced.
And that's a joy too.
Yeah.
Helping a kid to go to something like that. I know the pastor of our parish next door, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, sponsored me in the seminary. I wouldn't be a priest if he hadn't paid my tuition in the seminary, and gave me money for books. And it's really enriching to be able to help somebody else.
Right.
Yeah, and now that you're in the position to do that, you may not be wealthy now, but you can think of ways to raise money and ways to raise awareness. Get people Club 52, for those who don't know, is people pledge $1 a week to Life Teen. It's 52 weeks in a year, so they give $52 a year to Life Teen. And
so
it really helps out a lot.
If anyone wants to sign up for that, they can contact the radio station. And
if you'd like to help with our Life Teen. I don't know if that's legal for us to do that, but I think it is.
We did it anyways.
We did it anyways. Who cares? Sometimes it's good to break the rules. Well, I really want to thank you for talking this evening.
For having me.
Do you have any questions of me?
I mean, I've known you for a while now, so I kind of know a lot about you.
Yeah. I just sprung this on you. You didn't know I was going to say this.
I don't really have any real questions. I'll think of some, but I mean, I guess the real question is what do you think about the way Life Teen has changed the church from when it didn't have Life Teen? Do you notice a difference in people coming and? Yeah,
youth groups used to be. In every parish I've been to before Life Teen, youth group was kids getting together to complain about their parents and cry. That was the main, and go on retreats. And that just seemed to be the main focus was, feeling sorry for each other and talking about their cat died and all the problems. And it always seemed to be such a downer. And Life Teen is just the opposite. I'll never forget my first experience of Life Teen. I was at a 5:30 evening mass, and we were going to have a session where I talked with the teenagers. And I walked by the hall before mass, and I noticed it wasn't set up, and it was dirty in the hall. So I asked if any of the Life Team members would go over to the hall and clean up and set up. And I just was amazed at how fast the kids ran over there, cleaned up the hall, and set up. It wasn't about complaining. It was about doing what was right. And I think the enthusiasm and the positive things that the edge that those kids had, and their willingness to go out of their way for other people. It's changed. It isn't about, poor me.
Yeah, with no questions asked. They just do whatever people need. And I love it. I started out like that, and now these kids are growing like this, and it's great to see it,
It is.
It's a wonderful feeling, it just makes you happy to think about that.
It's happy to watch that happen, and I think it's an enthusiasm that we need in the church. Do you know what the word enthusiasm means?
Enthusiasm?
Right.
I think that's one of those words that you don't really know what it means, you just know when to use it.
It comes from two Greek words, enthusia, which is filled with the Spirit. So it's Spirit-filled.
Wow.
So enthusia in the Greek Orthodox or the Greek Catholic Church is what they use when they talk about filling with the Spirit. So enthusiasm is actually being filled with the Holy Spirit.
That's interesting.
For us Catholics, So let's be enthusiastic this week in our Catholic faith. And I will see you probably at Mass.
Yeah, you'll see me either Tuesday or Sunday.
And
definitely. No, not Tuesday. You're not doing the talk out for confirmation on Tuesday.
Confirmation talk? No, I'm not doing the confirmation.
Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. Yeah, it's tonight. I did it last week. Or a couple weeks ago I did that. The whole history of the Mass is called Mass for Dummies in an hour and a half. It's a lot of fun to do that. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for joining me, and please pray for Josh and our Life Team and for me, and we'll pray for you. Good night, and God bless to all. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.